Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to Finance with Avrin. In this video, I've got some critical information for you about your money and your savings because the Fed just had their June 2026 meeting today, July 17th. And there's definitely some information that was discussed in that meeting that's going to affect you. Let's get right into it here. First, I want to start with, of course, what happened. What's the overview of the outcome of this meeting? So the Fed held rates unchanged at that 3.5 to 3.75% range. So that decision to hold the rate steady was widely expected, though. That was just kind of going into the meeting. The market had priced in pretty much like, rates are going to stay the same, and the market's pricing in other things to, make it go this way, that way, and so forth. Of course, the largest IPO in history, SpaceX, is definitely moving the market and shaking things up. So the market has other things that is moving it. So it went into this and wasn't affected by this meeting and the rates and everything until this meeting came out. And what was said in this meeting definitely made the markets go down towards the end of the day, as you see right there as the S&P 500. So this decision was widely expected. Keep rates unchanged between 3.5 to 3.75%. But the Fed is becoming much more concerned by inflation. There's a chart for you right there. Yes, inflation. So as you see, it's been going up, away from that target rate that they like it at that like 2%. So that's kind of raising some eyebrows, making the Fed rethink what it had thought before earlier this year, but things have definitely happened in 2026 to affect the economy. I'm not going to say things. I don't want to get my video flagged or anything. I don't know. I don't talk about political things. I know much on this channel. I'm unbiased, unbent, unbound. I'm not trying to lean this way, lean that way, whatever. I'm just giving you the data, the information, unbiased. So I tend not to talk about politics too much unless it literally affects finances and money, like the big, beautiful bill and so forth. So yeah, the Fed, held the rates steady, and they're watching inflation right there. And then also with this meeting, there was not much guidance. The guidance that was provided, or the lack thereof, that's what made markets get a little shaky as well. The market went into this, knowing, feeling confident, rates going to stay the same. Okay, that was given, the information in the meeting. So the market confirmed that. Okay, handshake. Yep, there we go. And then the market likes to be positive reinforcement. The market wants that positive reinforcement of like, hey, the rate cuts are still on the table, right? Because we're pricing that in, kind of. That's where we're heading. That's what we're kind of like know what's going on. Besides, we don't know about other things going on in the world, what may happen with this and that and whatnot, this peace treaty and all that or something. But we can at least count on rates going down, right? The rest of okay, we're good. No, we're not. At the end of this meeting, we're not. So, okay, so what rate hike? Did we hear rate hike? And so, yes, the market got something that it was not expecting. And that is what took it down some right there. So that outlook has shifted for the Fed. And I'm definitely going to get more into that. The last section of this video is going to be a big factor for that information right there. And as far as how things are going to look differently from now on with these Fed meetings, which this is a major meeting for the economy, for the market, so the stock market, for your savings account, for the mortgages, and it affects a lot in the economy, basically. So yeah, things are going to get a little bit different here with these meetings, it looks like. But let's get more into that Fed rate and where it possibly could be going later this year, next year, and so forth. So the Fed likes to do this dot plot. And so this pretty much tells you what each one of them, where they think rates are going to go, where they should go, so forth, later this year and the next years and the next years. As you see right there on the chart, 2026, 27, 28, so forth. So this kind of gives an indication of where most of the Fed thinks things are going to go. Are they scattered all over the place? Okay, that's not good. If this dot plot was all over the place, like, some thought it was should go 5.5, some 1.0 or something, we would probably have some issues right there. But typically it's got to group together somewhat, but definitely a range right there. So with the updated dot plot, 9 policymakers now expect a rate hike. 6 expect multiple hikes. 8 expect no change. They think it's just going to remain steady for the rest of the year where it's at what they decided on this meeting, so forth. And now only one expect a rate cut. No policymakers 3 months ago projected rate hikes. Now 9 of them are projecting rate hikes. So yes, that is a major change right there. And this dot plot may sound boring somewhat, if you're not into statistics, I guess, or something like that. I like statistics. That was my favorite math in college, statistics. But this dot plot is one of the most important charts in finance. And actually, one person did not indicate their thought on this dot plot. So this represents the policymakers in the Fed, but the main policymaker, Kevin Warsh, did not put his opinion on this chart, on this dot plot. More into that later. Yes, that is definitely important. And this isn't me saying this is a good thing or a bad thing, anything like that. This is just the information that came out in this meeting today. Kevin Warsh, new Fed chairman, does not put his opinion for the rate right here on this chart, on the dot plot. And now each shaded circle indicates a value of an individual's participant's judgment of the midpoint of the appropriate target range for the federal funds rate, or the appropriate target level for the federal funds rate at the end of that specific calendar year and over the long run. So this is what each policymaker thinks this will be best for the economy if rates were here at this point in time. Here in 2026, later this year, here in 2027, and here in 2028. And they're trying to do what? The Fed's, their goal is to have maximum employment and price stability. And that to them would be a healthy United States economy. So that's saying right there where they think rates should be to help that happen, to promote that. So this is the thought behind this dot plot. It's one of my favorite charts to look at, especially when it comes to the Fed fund rate, is this dot plot. Now, I've put it in my videos before. I forget which video, at least one for sure, maybe more than one, but I've definitely talked about the dot plot before. That is one of the biggest shifts, though, that we've seen all year, with where policymakers think the target Fed fund rate should be at. So yeah, the dot plot. Now, why did the Fed change his mind? So the reasons behind the change of direction, what happened in the past few months that made, now 9 policymakers thinking that there should be a rate hike later this year from there being 0 back in March. So inflation remains above the 2% target level. Also, energy prices increased inflation concerns. So, of course, what's going on in the past months here, what's overseas, and the Strait of Hormuz and all of that. So, yes, energy prices have increased. And also, why did the Fed change his mind? The labor market remains resilient. So that's something that's going on right now. That is, they think, a good thing, that's going towards their goal. Now, also, consumer spending remains stronger than expected. So, hey, people are spending money. This economy thrives on consumption. That's one of its main ways of growing. So yes, consumer spending remains stronger than expected. Okay, so the Fed sees that. They're like, okay, that's good. That's going. That's what we like. Okay, so now the economic growth has not weakened enough to justify cuts. So many Fed are just thinking like, hey, we don't need to cut rates later this year because things are going pretty smooth, even with all of this going on and this and that. And let's just wait this out. Or maybe we need to, throw a rate hike in there to, cool things down a little bit. Maybe things are running too hot, that inflation. We need to target that inflation. We need to bring that down. One way to bring that down is to chill out on the spending, the price of goods, supply and demand, so forth, all of that. So yeah, that's what's going on with the Fed and why it changed its mind overall in regards to the Fed fund rate. And so what does this mean for your savings? Your savings account, hopefully high yield savings account, not one of those regular savings account where the national average is like 0.38%. We don't talk about those on this channel except for telling you how measly that APY is. And so yeah, high yield savings account. So your high yield savings account and your CD account, if you have one of those going on, where are the yields going in those with what happened with this Fed meeting? Now, so high yield savings accounts rates, they may stay elevated longer. They may not be as many cuts. If you've been locked in here with me on the channel, Finance with Avrin, then you likely know that I do videos every month of the top 10 high yield savings accounts ranked by APY for that month. And then I also talk about some honorable mentions, well-known financial institutions that have nice high yield savings accounts, but the yields aren't high enough to get in the top 10 ranking based solely on the APY. And so so if you've been locked in here with me, you know where the yields have been going. You notice some banks cutting more, some a little bit, some almost every month it seems, or some pretty often, some not as much, some kind of more resilient, and every now and then maybe a little raise here and there. So yeah, you know about that. So that's been happening. So with this decision, the rates may just continue kind of cruising along. So savers, they will continue to benefit from the higher yields, and banks feel less pressure to reduce rates. So online banks will keep trying to be pretty competitive. They'll offer, bonuses. They'll try to keep their rates, a little more steady than the other bank. They see the bank down the road, down the internet, basically with the online bank. They see that bank and they're like, oh, they cut their yield. We can just keep ours the same. We want to attract more customers, or, we'll just, oh, they cut their yield by that much. We need to cut ours too, but maybe not by that much, because we'll still get that. And some banks are like, no, we're just going to keep cutting how we see fit for our personal goals. And we're going to just try to attract, customers in more other ways. Maybe our app has more features to it and looks better. Maybe our customer service is better, and so forth, things like that. Now, existing CDs remain attractive. They can remain attractive. CD yields are locked in for a specific term. And I also make monthly videos, typically monthly, sometimes every other month, but I'm trying to do monthly with those as well. Ranking videos I do of the top 5 every month, as well as some honorable mentions like I do for the high yield savings accounts. So those could remain attractive, and new CD rates could stay more competitive. Maybe we'll see more raises here in the yields for CD rates if the Fed hikes the rate. If they keep it the same, we'll see a mix of things, kind of, what's been going on lately for this past, this year of 2026. So, and now locking in rates still has some value. So it's, if that is your goal, you got your finances in order and you were thinking about putting this money aside in the CD and for this amount of term, something like that, then, that could still be just a good path for you. Continue on. Nothing crazy from this meeting should happen to really move, rates, yields in this sharp direction anytime soon, as of now. But 3 months, 2 months, things could change, of course. But yeah, so that is what it means for your savings. That's what we're going to likely see here. Stay locked in here with me on the channel, Finance with Avrin, and you'll definitely be informed of what's going on with yields and interest rates and so forth. Now, what to look for next? What's next in terms of the Fed fund rate and this meeting and the future? Information, data, and the future. So yes, information data is very important. And that's a big part of why things were decided upon with this meeting is inflation going up in the past few months here. Now, employment, of course, will continue to be watched closely. That they like it, what's going on with it now overall. And let's continue to like it is what they're going to want, of course. And now the markets are now pricing in a higher odds of a hike. That is one thing that shook up the market some. That's one reason why the market shook up some. Now, the outlook remains highly data dependent for sure, what this Fed fund rate and the Fed meeting and everything. So future meetings are going to look very different under Warsh, and let me lay out why. This is what I was kind of teasing towards the beginning or middle of the video. So under Warsh's leadership, the Fed is pivoting its approach to how it consumes and acts on economic statistics. You know how much I like statistics now, right? So Warsh wants to do away with volatile monthly jobs reports, lagging survey methods, areas that require modern data standards. So he doesn't like what's being used now. He doesn't like what has been being used for the thoughts and the decisions on these Fed fund rates and where to go with them. He doesn't like that data, how it was presented. He doesn't like the monthly reports like it is, the lagging. He wants it more current data and information. So the Fed has formed 5 task force, one of which is specifically focused on the use and reliance on existing data sources, so up to date, and to explore newer, faster private sector methodologies. And they're going to use, artificial intelligence, AI, to help them just be on it like that, I guess, just like that. So, and now this is a real-time focus. So Warsh has emphasized that central bankers need error bounds on data to be narrowed so that difficult decisions can be made accurately in real time. So he's wanting more of a real-time focus here. So alongside all this data review, how things are going to change with that, Warsh made some other changes to the Federal Open Market Committee traditions. Now, so the end of forward guidance. So this is what, of course, the market didn't like. They were like, okay, well, we gotta go down here. So the Fed has cut back on forward guidance, and Warsh stating that markets should react to incoming data rather than interpreting effect signaling. So he doesn't think that the market should, try to take from the meetings where the Fed fund rate is going to go. He doesn't want that kind of guessing and that, betting or some sort to affect going forward. So he's stating that, just not even saying anything about forward guidance anymore. We're not going to say anything about it in these meetings. That's it. No more forward guidance. And that's a big way that markets move with stocks is you're buying the future when you're buying stocks, basically. So you're saying like, I believe that this company is going to make this revenue. They're going to continue this. They're going to grow at this level and so forth. Balance sheets, income statements, and the data, cash flows, all that moves, that really determines if a company is going places, if that stock is going places, if it's going to continue paying that dividend, growing that dividend, and so forth. And also, we're going to shorten up the meetings here. And so the post-meeting statement was drastically shortened from roughly 300 words to about 130 words. So shorten that up. And then also, remember I was telling you about the dot plot in that section of the video. I was telling you about how of all the policymakers that have, put their dot plot of where they think the Fed fund rate should be, Kevin Warsh was not one of them. So Warsh opted out to submit his own personal forecast for the Fed's quarterly summary of economic projections, the dot plot. So because he has a skepticism of this tool, he does not like the dot plot. So maybe the dot plot is going to go away. And I'm like, man, I like the dot plot. You're going to take that away from me, man? It's like, what? Oh, I was just talking about how much I like the dot plot in the statistics and all that. And now I just realized Kevin Warsh is going to take that away from me. But I mean, there will be other charts I'll like and I'll look at it. So it's fine. I'll find, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, so that is what happened in this FOMC meeting right there, and with Kevin Warsh, and how these future meetings will possibly go, and why the Fed fund rate remained steady at that 3.5 to 3.75, and why there's mention of hikes, or a hike, at least one hike, maybe more hikes later on this year. And yes, that is the information right there. I hope you all enjoyed the video, found it informative. Be sure to like it down below and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Have an awesome day. Take care.